long. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome. Always sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome.
Been out of these streets, nigga trying to eat while I duck police. Own family stealing from me. I'm on the phone being pray, but white Jesus can't save me. Get him away from me. I don't know what to say. So many niggas hating me. Get him away from me.
Always sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome. Always sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome.
Always sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I ride around with my chrome. Always sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I ride around with my chrome. Trying to keep it on the true side, nigga. Laying low to play it cool now, nigga. Ass niggas on the team, I've been known to get the green ever since I was 2'5", nigga. Coop hanging out the roof, nah, nigga. Cause I ain't stunting on them. Put my whole team on so they ain't wantin'. When niggas doing bad, you know that they be hating on you. Get the hoping that you fall, they be waiting on it. Bullshit get bread from the envy. Best friends get to looking like enemies. When you got it in this bank account empty. Perfect recipe to breed a lot of jealousy. Looking from a bird's eye view. Learn from everything I've been through. Told my baby girl, if you ain't spending life with the nigga, never let him put a dick up in you. Cause if a nigga wrong, I'ma check that shit. And when you paper long, never flex that shit. Told my son, when you getting money, never trick it to a bop and flip it over, then invest that shit. Give a lot of game, trying to bless my kids. Gotta keep it real, that's the best shit. Got hitters up in Philly, back in Texas. When I get up on the track, yeah, I wreck shit.
Always sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome. Always sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome.
Always sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I ride around with my chrome. Always sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I ride around with my chrome.
This is ISUPK Delaware, man. We out here at this Peace on the Streets event. And, you know, we out here with the heavy hitters. I got Captain Ariyah, I got Mataza Pa back there, got Officer Thusayum, got Tazayad, you know what I'm saying? Officer Tazayad, got the trooper back there, man. What's going on? Zarab Bakar. And we out here, man, just kind of, you know, just getting the overall feel of the place and, you know, pass out flyers and just really let everybody know about our classes that we have. Our classes are Tuesday through Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. At 1232 North King Street, Wilmington, Delaware, 19801. And we also have a Sabbath service on Saturday morning at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. You know what I'm saying? Then we got a street camp after that. A lot of times we be down in Dover, and we also be in Wilmington. You know what I mean? So look, all you gotta do is contact the 302-467-8837, and we can get you right. You know what I'm saying? So all it takes is for you to take that first step to get your life together. You know what I'm saying? So just come on down, and we'll take care of the rest. All right? Peace. And we can get you right. You know what I'm saying? So all it takes is... All right, man. All right, students. Today, we will be talking about the Delectable Negro. All right? The Delectable Negro. All right? So we're going to get into this book right here by Vincent Woodward. And also, we're gonna talk about some things as far as voting. Shout out to Mataza Pa, who let me read this book, Delectable Negro. God dog, man. Look at this, man. Look. All right, so could you please give me the definition of delectable? What's up? Oh, I thought you about wanted me there. So if you could chime in on this one too, Mataza Pa, because I remember you brought this out a while back, but if I'm not mistaken, this is the book where they made the shoes out of a nigga, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they made shoes, like the oppressor made shoes out of a nigga. He said this is the best leather I've ever felt on my skin. Like, okay, so all right, delectable. Mm-hmm.
It says extremely beautiful or attractive.
Or attractive.
Or another one says delicious.
Delicious, right? Because I thought about that too. Because I was like, well, why would it delectable? Because like when I didn't look it up first. I just was remembering back like what the name meant. Like I thought like a cake. They'd be like, oh, the delectable cake with the delectable icing and all that kind of stuff. And I thought it was something that was like more so like good, like something that was very delicious or something like that. But then I'm like, well, why would the book be titled Delectable Negro? And then it's called the Delectable Negro: Human Consumption and Homoeroticism within U.S. slave culture. Now this guy, Vincent Woodward, I believe he's a homosexual, right? He's a homosexual. As I'm reading, I'm like, okay, so it's kind of like he tries to make it acceptable, but and like he says, like, kind of like, homosexuals can be revolutionaries and different things like that, but he tries to kind of put it in with the homoerotic. I gotta keep reading the book myself, but it's like he trying to infuse it with the slavery, and it's like, at first I'm reading it, I'm like, what the hell did Matazapah give me, man? Because Matazapah got that like the damn near the whole book already. I mean, he already got like the whole book already got like, it's already highlighted damn near. He hit goddamn everything. You know what I mean? So, so I wrote down some notes or whatever. Also, I wanted to kind of throw this out there too, because I'm gonna kind of bring everything together. All right. So, well, the angle of the book that I want to go from is the paternalistic relationship that we have with the oppressor, right? I want to go from that angle, but with that angle, I also want to inject things that we do, you know what I mean, to be a part of this system, right? And the reason I wanted to go there was because I was talking to a sister today, right? And I'm not trying to dog the sister out or anything like that, but she said something that made me, of course, give the alternative. But I thought it would be good for us to at least explore it for a second, so that we could see what y'all thought about it or whatever. Yeah, it's in there. I'm good to go. So she said about voting, right? Now I asked her. I said, "Did you vote?" She was like, "Yeah." I said, "Well, who did you vote for?" She said, "I voted for Biden." I said, "Well, why did you vote for Biden?" She said, "Because I voted for Biden because we had to get Donald Trump out of office." Right? So I said, "Okay." Well, I said, "Well, do you know that Joe Biden, Donald Trump, he had gave an unprecedented amount of money to the HBCUs, right? But they just came out and said that Joe Biden just lowered all of that. He took all that bread, he lowered all that. You know what I mean?" And so, and I was like, okay. And then also I said, since Joe Biden has been in office, he's ran off of the African-American vote pretty much. And he pretty much said, okay, he's going to do this, he's going to do that when he gets into office. And we see that he hasn't done anything for Black people. The only thing that he's ever done for Black people since he's been in office is symbolic gestures, meaning he gave us a statue of George Floyd. He gave us Juneteenth is a federal holiday now. It's symbolic gestures, right? But it's not, or take down a statue here and there, right? But I said, but when he just signed this deal that just so that the government wouldn't shut down, in that bill, it's like 40 something billion. My number could be wrong, but in that, there's a 26.2 billion dollars that is in that bill that's supposed to give financing to the Afghan refugees so that they could get settled in.
So he gave them $26 billion to get settled in and get themselves right over here in America. But then here we are, been over here for 400 years, and we haven't even got no $26 billion for nothing, right? Go ahead.
They gave the Afghanis money. And I seen something where I think it was Commander Tony Hunter. Somebody had brought it out where they're running off the bases or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And look, they're specifically in they sending them to different places all up throughout the United States. But Captain Kapaz said he saw some Afghans at the Walmart in Indianapolis, and then he said they was getting in a car, and I'm like, well, damn, niggas, I know niggas, you know what I'm saying, who been here, that I knew for 30 years that don't even got a car. He said he's seen them in a car, getting in a car coming out of the Walmart. But anyway, I told her this, right? I told her these things and these inconsistencies with Joe Biden. Now, she didn't know that Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. She didn't know he said that. I was like, you didn't see when he was on the Breakfast Club when he said, if you trying to figure out whether you should vote for me or for Trump, then you ain't black. So his whole basis of him running was based on the premise that he was going to get in office and do something for black people. He even tried to scam our women into having an Indian, right, as the vice president to get the black girl magic vote, right? And he did these things, and he ran off of these things. Now, what she said was, well, we have to vote. And I was like, well, why do you have to vote? Nobody, she was like, because we're part of the system that we have to vote, because if we don't do anything, then nothing is going to change. So I said, okay, so what happens when we do vote? She said, nothing. So I said, well, what happens if we don't vote? She was like, no, I have to vote. We have to. She pretty much, Shalom Warrior. She was more so like saying that we have to vote. Like, even if we don't, even if we know that we got to vote for the lesser of two evils. Like, in her mind, now she's young, I'm not, beating up on the sister or nothing like that. But what I'm saying is, in her mind, she was convinced that if she does not vote, then she's not doing her part as a black person. So even when I brought up the statistics about Joe Biden and the voting process and how it's all rigged and it's a fool's game, and I said, okay, are you going to vote next time? She said, yeah. Go ahead, Matata Pot.
Most people like her are the type of people that say, a lot of our ancestors died so we can vote.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They fought and died so we can vote. So we ain't gonna let them die in vain. They fought for something that was very vain.
Yeah, let me get homeborn. Can I get that, please? Homeborn slave. All right. So I'm telling her, you know what I mean? Because it's for me, it's good like to hear, like different points of view or whatever, so that I can, we can like pinpoint, how we can, fix the problem. You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, it's what she's been indoctrinated into, right? And we've all been indoctrinated into it, but it's the few of us that are allowed to come out of it, right? That has that mindset where we're not going to. Because I said, well, you can celebrate Christmas. Do you got to do it? You can celebrate Valentine's Day. Do you have to do it? So even though we're in the system, we don't. She's like, well, we're in the system. So since we're in the system, we got to be a part of the system. And that's when I said, well, do we got to celebrate Christmas? Do we got to celebrate the holidays? Do you have to eat pork? No, right? So just because we physically in the system, of course, doesn't mean that you have to be a part of the system. Because ultimately, the game is you, us. That's the game. There is no. Go ahead, Matata.
Why did I go back? That's what the scriptures say. Like, come out of her, my people. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You feel like we in the system. Separate yourself from that system.
Right, because what we don't understand is that we have to do something radical to get out of our position that we're in. It has to be radical. All right, I'm gonna break it down. Go ahead and read the scripture when you got it, warrior.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
Is Israel a servant?
Is what?
Is Israel a servant?
Is Israel a servant? Or is that what we're here to be? Is that our lifestyle here in America? To be a goddamn servant? Is that what it is? Right? Go ahead.
Is he a homeborn slave?
Or is this our position on the earth? As Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, is this our position to be under the boot of everybody that's in America and around the world? Is that what our position is? Like, well, if that's what our position is, if we're perpetually supposed to be homeborn slaves, if we're perpetually supposed to be the lower class of every nation that's on the earth, then what's the point of even being born?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, really, what's the point? What's the point? To come here to live in the ghetto? To come here and be oppressed every day and shot down like dogs in the street by police officers? Then what is the point? Read it one more time from the top.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
Is Israel a servant?
Uh-huh.
Is he a homeborn slave?
Check this out, y'all. You know what our leadership is? Our leadership is like this. You know how, like, okay, I'll give you an example. You know how, like, a woman, right? If a woman wanted power, let's say, even today, if a woman wants power, how does she get power? Go ahead. Look, get this brother a hand. Say it one more time. She sleeps with a man with power, right? To get power, right? That essentially is what our leadership is. Our leadership feels that if we can be kind to the oppressor, if we can, you know, get him to be on our side, he'll share some of his power with us. Instead of our leadership understanding that we can have more power if we just separate from them and have our own thing. Then we can have all the power that we want. But they feel like, well, we'll just march, we'll just protest, we'll just try to serenade the devil into not being the devil, and then maybe he'll share some of the stuff, good things that he have with us. And that's why a cat is telling you to vote. That's why he's telling you to vote, because look, when a cat tells you to vote, he's basically saying that all his manhood is gone. You know what I'm saying? What I'm talking about? That's basically what he's saying. He's saying all my manhood is gone, and I don't want any power on my own. So I'm just going to vote for somebody, and maybe he'll just do what he say he's going to do for us. So when we'll be able to benefit off of him being in power. Ain't that weak when you really think about it? That's weak as hell. Like, all right, so he got power, so I'm gonna vote for him because he said that he'll do something for me. And this is what I was trying to tell the sister, is that this is the whole fool's game with voting is the two-party system. That's the fool's game. You only get one or the other, right? If it was at least some sort of, you know, fair, they would give you three choices, right? Because then you would have the alternative, right? But Bernie Sanders was an independent, right? But he understood that in a two-party system, the only way that he would have a real chance of being the president or getting the nomination for the Democratic Party, he had to become Democrat. That's the fool's game. Go ahead, Mataza Pa.
No, I was about to say two comments about the two-party system.
Mm-hmm.
The left wing and the right wing on the same damn bird.
Right, exactly.
For one. And then what was I about to say about the you was just talking about something.
What, the two-party system with Bernie Sanders? It'll come back to you. Yeah, it'll come back to you. But this is the thing. Does anybody know what a pledged delegate is? Does anybody know what a super delegate is? Closed primary elections. Go ahead and talk about so you won't forget.
I found out I figured out what I was gonna say. Well, because the same way we have like a president in the Senate House and the House of Representatives and all that stuff, is the same way the government was set up back in the Apocrypha.
Mm-hmm.
Remember in the Apocrypha during the time of the Maccabees, remember it said that they gave the country over to one man.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? They had the Senate House and they had the same exact style of
Mm-hmm.
government. If that government didn't work for us 2,000 years ago, what makes us think that that same style and form of government is going to work today with the same exact people, same form of government?
Exactly. And this is look. And the brother said that he didn't know what the hell I'm talking about when I said pledge delegates, super delegates, all those different things, right? Those different variables that comes along with the voting process, right? It switches up, you know what I mean, from year to year. So it could get a little bit confusing. But what do our people know? We know rock the vote. We do know hashtag let freedom ring. We do know hashtag vote or die. We do know that. So, but we don't understand what the hell else we're even voting on. And we don't even understand the process. And like I said, and I told her, I said, look, and this is the general told us this. He taught us this, General Muhammad. He said, politicians are snakes, right? And the people are mice. So whenever a mouse goes around a snake, what happens? He gets eaten. And that's essentially what happens to us every single time, every voting season, every 4 years. We go up in that arena and we get eaten because he doesn't have to give you anything. Joe Biden didn't have to give us nothing. Donald Trump didn't have to give us nothing. But what he had to do was make you believe that he was going to give you something. And that's what it is. The whole presidential race, right? It used to be a race in Rome. They used to you had to run. if you was an emperor or whatever, you had to get out. You had to get out there and you had to show that you was fit. You know what I mean? You had to race somebody. That's where they get the whole, you got to run the race or whatever. But my point is that they don't have to give you anything. All Obama had to do was convince you that we were going to have change. He ran on that, on change. And what changed? Nothing. The ghetto is still the ghetto. The projects is still the projects. Black people are still oppressed. Police brutality is running rampant in the ghetto. Nothing ever changes when we vote. So what's the point in voting? That would be the more radical thing, would be not to vote, because then they would see that, okay, we don't have the same grip that we had on them, and that would be something that is unprecedented, right? Because they'd be like, black people did not vote in this election. What's wrong with the niggas, right? That would be like the biggest news around the whole world if we did not vote in this election, the next election, because we feel that our vote doesn't matter. And if we did that and we stuck to that, then we would actually achieve something. But we don't achieve it because our leadership is feminist. They're feminine, right? They're feminine, and they believe that long as they don't piss the oppressor off, they can bask in his glory. They can have a good seat, and they prompt us to take on that subservient role. Therefore, as a nation, the men are emasculated. Go ahead, Mataza Pa.
Remember a class? I remember this class you did, like maybe it had to be like 8 years ago, but it was talking about the boule and how the top 10% control the top 90%. And so, like, you have these certain dudes that be up at the top that never change. Like the faces that you see never freaking change. You know what I'm saying? The faces that you see don't like give you a back, like they don't stand up for anything. They just allow things to happen. You know what I mean? You know, like let's say you're Jesse Jackson's and you're Al Sharpton, they'll tell you to, go home. They'll like dissipate the energy. And I just was remembering, about the boule, that boule class.
Yeah. Now the boule, man, look, when you start to really go deep, it's a book right here called it's written by this cat. His last name is Bay, so I guess he's Moore. Oh, that means it's black. But yeah, because I'm reading this book here called Ancient and Modern Britons. All Moore is black. That's all it literally means. It's Negro. A Negro. I don't see what the hell brothers are trying to like merge that with the Moroccan Empire, or I don't know what the hell that is. You're doing too much. In their mind, they trying to, I guess, beat the white man with paperwork. Go ahead and talk about.
War is actually a blanket term. War is a blanket term, but it's a term, like, according to the Moors, that can encompass Esau.
Right.
Like, Esau can be a Moor.
Chinese
people can be Moors. Anybody can be a Moor and claim this, this sovereignty
right.
that they have, or these special laws that they get. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And guess what?
That they get from U.S. laws or whatever.
Right. And then the minute you're on the side of the road and the cop asks you for your license and you tell them that you're traveling and you're not operating the vehicle, that's what's gonna happen to you. Right. Every time, anywhere ghetto USA, that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna drag you out the car by your dreadlocks. Right? So this is not what you should be teaching our people. You should not be teaching our people to stand up against some redneck on the side of the road. You know what I mean? I want to refer you to case number blah, blah, blah from 1977. He's going to smash that window and drag you and your girl and your kid out on that damn concrete. Right? If it's wintertime, you're going to be head face down in the snow. Right? Go ahead.
And if I may, I do believe they kind of refer you to Allah. Like that's what they preach to them. If I'm not mistaken. So it's like
Circle 7.
Yeah.
Circle 7 Quran.
Yeah. Also, too, I'm reading the Basilicon Doron. I don't know if anybody got this book. It's hard as hell to read because it's in old English. It's like the U's or V's. It's spelled Paul like P-A-V-U-L, like P-A-V-L or something like that. I'm like, damn, this is kind of hard to read. But it do have the letter that he wrote to his son, King Charles, and he basically told him to follow the prophets, not to sin. That's dope in there. He got not to follow the prophets, not to sin, not to be homosexual, not to pray with the papists. You know what I mean? He's like, don't pray with the papists, the Roman Catholic Church. He was against all of that stuff. And this book right here is a book that can show it to you. So if we bring this out of camp, you just have the reader read it before we go out. You know what I'm saying? So that you brother won't be out there like Vol. You know what I mean? You can read it how you know it would be. You know what I mean? How you would say it today. You know what I mean? It was rough reading that. Vol. And it'd be like also is different. It's like a A and a big S. You know what I mean? And then it's weird. But the Basilicon Doron, I've been trying to get that book for a minute now. All right, so could you read it one more time at the beginning of the verse?
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
Is Israel a servant?
Mm-hmm.
Is he a homeborn slave?
Mm-hmm.
Why is he troubled? Is he spoiled?
Right. Why the hell are we robbed the way that we are? One being our leadership is the reason that we so damn robbed. Right? Because our leadership ain't good for nothing. Nothing. Have y'all ever heard of the term empty suit? That's what our leadership is. Right. Empty suits. What's the point of having a congressional black caucus if we can't do nothing congressionally to affect our lives specifically? They'll tell you, well, we can't just do nothing. We got to do something for America. We can't do nothing specifically for black people. And then Mataza Pai always said they gave it to us. What they did was they gave us what's that called? No, not Juneteenth. Damn, I lost my train of thought. Go ahead though. No, go ahead. Well, yeah, but that's a symbolic thing that they gave us was Juneteenth, right? But why are we robbed, right? We're robbed because of our leadership, right? Okay, this is where I wanted to go. They Matala Paul always bring us out. They gave us they wrote everything in a way to say minorities, right? We'll do something for minorities, right? So minority doesn't necessarily mean black folk. It doesn't mean Hispanic folk. It can mean East Indians. It could mean Arabs. It could mean Chinese. Right? It could mean all of them. It could mean give me one. Who's a Buddhist? From Bangkok, the Cambodians. Right. If they're in America and they're not in a dominant position here in America, they're considered a minority. So when you voting and we out there trashing the goddamn place, right, to get rights on the books for minorities, essentially what we're doing is we're fighting for everybody else.
Right.
Go ahead.
Because you don't see those representatives out in the voting line.
Mm-hmm.
All you see is us out there, and they the ones that prosper off of what we.
Yes, because you're the muscle on the street. Black Lives Matter is the muscle. The street level is the muscle for the LGBT. So when you go, when a black man gets killed unarmed and then unjustly by a cop, Black Lives Matter responds, right? Who goes in the street? The drug dealers, the hoes, right? The niggas who's out there in the street that don't get the niggas who's out there just don't give a damn. They just mad, right? The people who want to loot some shit. Salakia, for my language. People that want to tear up the place, right? That's who's in the street. But who ultimately gains? The LGBT. Because the niggas on the lower level is the muscle to knock the doors down so that you can't say a damn thing on your comedy act. So you can't write a damn thing when you on Facebook or YouTube. So you can't even write the G word or your videos getting taken down. Right? That's what it is. The LGBT is the establishment. It's not the average, nigga in the hood. He doesn't have nothing to do with the LGBT. He don't give a damn about that. He just like men, right? Or a transsexual who's in the ghetto, or somebody who lives in the city that you live in. People that live in the city, that they're not the LGBT. That's the institution. You know what I mean? And the institution coupled along with the angry niggas is the muscle. And that's how the doors get taken down. They advance. And where do niggas stay? In the back. The feminist movement is the institution. Who's the muscle? Angry black women. Why? Because you can snap your fingers and you can move your neck all around and you can yell and you can cuss people out and you can get on that front line and you can fight for the rights of women to not be with their man, right? but guess what? This is the caveat. The caveat is that white women don't share the same sentiment with you with that. White women don't want to get rid of their man because they understand that's where their power's at. They don't want to get rid of their men. That's why they voted for Donald Trump. The feminists, the women overwhelmingly voted for Donald Trump. Why? Because they understand that their power lies within their man. Every nation understands that, right? Because God gave us the black woman, right? He gave us the black woman so that she could be with us. That's our woman, right? So where the hell is she going without you? And that's how we've been seduced by America. We've been seduced by the system of America to make our women believe that they don't need us. And what happens? They end up being 60 years old in that house by themselves. Right. And that's ultimately what your life is going to be. All right. All right. All right. What was that one, Matazapa, you had about the president? The one about the president. All right, but okay. So don't worry about if you can get it. Yeah, it's like a driver car. If you can hand that to Matazapa. All right, no sweat. If you can find that. All right. All right. We going in. All right. So I'm all right. So I'm gonna read this for y'all. All right. Y'all can just chill for a second. All right. Here we go. Okay, so this is the delectable Negro, human consumption and homoeroticism. Damn, homoeroticism. Can somebody look that up? Homoeroticism. Oh, I never heard that word before. Definition of homoeroticism. It said homeowner system. I can't even spell that. Homoeroticism. Y'all heard this word in the chat? Homoeroticism.
Alexa, what does eroticism mean?
The noun eroticism is usually defined as the sexual or erotic quality or character of something.
Okay, the sexual or erotic character of something. So homoeroticism would be the same sex. So it was more. So it's written in a standpoint from how the slave master had what that was homosexual. How he would look at the slaves, right, and be able to hash out all his sexual desires on the slave men. Right. Go ahead and talk about.
Right, and just the fact that even when it comes to like the whole butt breaking, right? How the hell can you get your rod hard? You know, get your rod right? To have sex with a slave, somebody you're supposed to hate or despise, a man at that, in front of people. It takes a sick type of mind to be able to do like the acts that that Edomites are capable of doing.
What you say? No.
No, it's in here. It says they gave the.
Who you looking for?
About the delegates and
Kai?
Senate and
Oh no, this ain't Ty. Wrong number.
I know it's in here.
Yeah. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, hold on 1 second. Can you take that Matazapa? Brother, I think ask him about the school. All right. So where was I at? Oh, right here. So okay. Let me see. Is this the one I want? 87. Okay. So he talks about the okay, so it says Washington witnessed, this is page 86. It says Washington witnessed the town go into a fervor over a dark-skinned man. This is a town that's believe in the nation's capital. So this is DC, right? So it's the nation's capital, Washington. Witnessed a town. Hold on, Booker T. Washington. Okay, so this is talking about an account that Booker T. Washington said that he saw. All right. So it says Booker T. Washington pungently expressed his institutionalization of the Negro, and he documented it up from slavery. That's a book. It was in his autobiography in 1879 on a stopover visit in the nation's capital, Washington. He witnessed the town go into a fervor over a dark-skinned man checking into a white hotel. The town intended to lynch the man until they found out that he was from Morocco and therefore not an American Negro. In another instance that took place that same year, Washington was transporting a Native American youth who had a similar complexion to his own to Washington aboard a train. A dinner server informed Washington that the Native youth could enter the dining car, but he, a Negro of the same complexion, could not. In both the hotel and aboard the train car, we see the Negro serving as a unitarian object that helped define social places, determine the interior of external margins of society, and mark the boundary between domestic and international terrains. The Moroccan man and the African and the American Negro have the same hair texture, skin color, and phenotypic features. The only difference between the two men is a process of cultivation and domestication rooted in white tastes, comforts, habits, perceptions, and social needs. Right? Now, this is what I say. All right. Now, the Moroccan man, yeah, he got the same phenotype, right? And he has the same skin color, right? But for some reason, he can go into the car, right? He can go in there. He doesn't get treated the same way a Negro would. That's from America. And what I say is, it's because the oppressor knows the difference. He knows the difference between an African. Because if they was Africans that he was bringing over here, right? They was Africans, wouldn't he just be like, wait, come here, you know what I mean? You N-word, you going back. Who did you escape from? Because they understand the difference between us. It's the same thing when they see us out today, right? The cops know the difference between an African and a Negro. They know the difference. They don't even have to even really ask you your name or anything. They can just, it's like a spiritual thing. They know who the niggas are. They know. They can tell by the way you are. They can tell by your spirit, the way you know what I mean? It's bigger, it's deeper than what you think it is. For anybody who's in the world who is trying to figure out why everything keeps happening, you can't figure out a way to compartmentalize what you see. Go ahead.
In my profession, I've learned that they even smell different. They just got a different smell. They just got a different smell about
Right.
it.
If the white man was so, if the white man was so fanatic about, you know, Africans and getting them over here to be slaves, then why wouldn't they just go and lynch that cat? Because they know that he's not one of the niggas that's here. You know what I mean? So yeah, go ahead in the car, eat what you want. You know, nobody's gonna say nothing to you, right? It says during and beyond slavery, blacks have associated the type of Negro Pollard described with femininity. Right? We take on that role of femininity, effeminate. So subconsciously, as a nation, the men are weak and the men are effeminate. So why do we kill each other? Why would we destroy each other over a small little argument? We'll destroy each other over an argument. Why? Because our subconscious is that because your manhood is already taken away from you by society. Right. That's why every other nation can come here and rule over you. And you can't do nothing about it. Because the leadership has given up our masculinity. Right. To promote femininity and to be emasculate ourselves. So what does a brother do that doesn't have any masculinity on a world scale? He lashes out. And subconsciously, if you try to go against that, like meaning like, give you an example, like a brother who goes to jail and get raped or something. That brother is going to, anybody who comes near his behind is going to get killed, right? Because or if somebody, even he gets out of jail, somebody even insinuates that he's a punk. Somebody insinuates that he's not tough. What is he going to do? He's going to lash out. Why? Because subconsciously he feels like he got to protect the manhood that he has left. Right. And that's what our leadership does constantly. They promote femininity. They promote us to be effeminate. Right. And because of that, we get stepped on by every single nation that comes to America. That's why they don't fear you. These nations don't fear us. They say, okay, I'm going to go over to America and I'm going to live the American dream on the backs of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. I'm going to live the American dream on their backs. And I'm going to do it. And guess what? They don't vote. They don't vote. The Chinese, they have a article that said it's called Why Chinese People Don't Vote. Chinese people don't vote because they don't, and they're the number one minority fastest growing in America today. And they don't vote like we do. You know, we vote because we feel that we have to be a part of a system that never accepted us. We feel like that's what we got to do. We got to make them believe that we're good and we want to be fully aware and be of the system. I mean, not fully aware, but we want them to be made fully aware that we're a part of the system and we're playing and following by all the rules. Right. And we hope that by following all the rules and proving to them that we are genuinely trying to be a part of them and be integrated with them and be a part of them and their society, that they'll let us in. And that is the religion, right? Voting is a religion. Right. Go ahead.
So it's like they want to be good slaves so they can be let into the master's house. Instead of working in the field, they want to go into the house.
Yeah.
Master, I'm a good slave. I'm going to do whatever you say.
So
let me in the house. And I obey all everything that you have set in place.
Yeah.
And be a good slave.
That's right, man. Where y'all at? Deuteronomy 7:3. Let's get it. Y'all with me?
So you call for something in Maccabees?
Matala Pa's getting it now, but he's talking to the brother on the phone. You got it? All right, no sweat. But we'll go there right after here. All right, let's get it when you get it, Zarabakar.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 3. Neither shalt thou make thy marriages with them.
7 and 6, I'm sorry.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6.
Come on.
For thou art an holy people.
We what?
For thou art an holy people.
That means we're supposed to be separate. Separate, meaning that you're not supposed to go out and vote. Meaning that you're not supposed to go out there and march. Marching has never done anything for black people. Marching does not work. They give you the illusion that it works, right? Because they tell you that we're going to talk about your issue. Does that mean that the issue is going to get solved? No. But yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll give you that. We'll just discuss reparations. But does it mean you're going to get anything? No. What they call it, plausible deniability. You know what that means? That means we're never ever going to tell you that we're going to give you something so that we don't have to give you nothing. All right? Go ahead, warrior. We're holy people. That means separate.
Unto the Lord thy God.
We're separate to who?
The Lord thy God.
One, we separate to the Africans.
The Lord thy God.
We separate to the conscious community.
The Lord thy God.
We separate to America.
The Lord thy God.
We separate unto the Lord.
That's right.
That's what we're separate unto. We're not separate unto, the Egyptian gods of the Northern Lights. No, that's not what we're separate into. What we're talking about is power for ourselves.
Right.
If we understand that simple fact, right? Instead of trying to have this affinity with Africa. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Like, okay, we fighting to be a part of people that don't prove that they want to be a part of us.
Right.
Y'all, we the one that went off in the diaspora. Right. Why we got look? It's just like if your kid, if you gave your kid up for adoption, right? It's not the kid's job to try to find you.
Right.
It's your job to find the goddamn kid.
That's right.
That if we're the ones who left, if we're the ones who got taken off in the diaspora, Africa's supposed to be over here fighting for us.
Right.
Not they got military, right? They got a military. They got money. They got diamonds, gold, all that. You know how I know? Goddamn, look at all the rappers, right? It's diamonds on everybody. So if they got all the resources, why aren't they over here fighting for us? Oh, because they're being oppressed too. Yeah, that's been the same goddamn excuse forever, right? Would the Chinese let America do what they're doing over here to their people? No, you had it right. Hell no, that wouldn't happen. Would the North Koreans or the South Koreans allow their people to be taken off into slavery and then just let the cops handle them any kind of way that they wanted to? No, that wouldn't happen. No other nation on this earth would do that. So if we understand that very simple principle, which the founding fathers of the 13 colonies, which they weren't the founding fathers of the 13 colonies, but that's another class. But we're gonna go with common history. The fathers of this nation, right, understood, right, when they were being oppressed, right, by the British, who was taxing them and making them pay a higher tax on tea and different things that they was doing over here in the 13 colonies. What did they understand? They understand that you're not going to oppress us, and we've been over here, and we're going to be our own people. We're our own people now. You don't hear the oppressor here talking about we got to go back to the homeland in Great Britain. They understand that they're their own people. And look, we're going to sign a Declaration of Independence. Why can't we sign a Declaration of Independence? Why? You know what I mean? It worked for them. Why can't it work for us? You know, and this is that mentality that we have from our leadership. Go ahead, Matazapah.
When Esau came from Great Britain, right? He was the Great Britain, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He was the Great Britain coming over here. And he fought against his own. He created a whole new identity and fought against his own
people. Remember, it said the damn prophecy say he's the 8th, but he is of the 7.
Right.
So he's the same people. They understood that. Wait a minute, we are our own people now. We've been going from Africa for too long. If that's what the narrative you want to go by, we've been going from Egypt. If that's the narrative you want to go by, we've been going out of Egypt for centuries. We've been going from Africa for centuries, generation after generation after generation after generation. So we would have to understand and come to a logical what's that word I'm looking for? We would have to come to a logical standpoint. A logical standpoint that we are our own people now. When Sandra Bland got killed, who was out there? Us. When Tamir Rice got killed, who was out there? Us. When Michael Brown was out there, I was out there with Michael Brown. Who was out there? Us. When we fighting injustice here in America, who's out there? Us. You think you're gonna go over there to Africa with some Pan-African bull crap that you came up with? Hey, the cotton pickers in America came up with. That we all the same in Africa. They ain't jacking that. You think them Africans are gonna jack that bull crap from the cotton pickers and the copper in America? We're gonna be Pan-Africanists. So we're all the same people. Ugandans ain't the same as the people from the Democratic Republic of Congo. They're not the same as the Sudan, the Sudanese people. The Sudanese people ain't the same as the South Africans. The South Africans ain't the same as the people that's in Tanzania. You know what I'm saying? They're different people. They're fighting for their own independence. And you are not going to go over there with this ideology that you came up with in America, and where you're going to go over there and everybody's going to be on the same page and we're going to all love each other and all live together. That's Martin Luther King's damn dream. Go ahead.
So if I may, the Africans even denied Haiti the membership into the African Union.
Right, I forgot about that. Yeah.
So they know that they not the same people.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you're black.
Right.
Yeah.
Just because you black. Just like when we was reading about the Moroccan who was during slave Booker T. Washington said that when they got on the train together, the Moroccan dude was allowed to go in there, but he couldn't. And he said they had the same phenotype, they had the same skin color, but he was allowed to go in and not him. Because the oppressor knows the difference between y'all. If y'all was both the same people, he would know. Right? He would say, he would think both of y'all was African and Moroccan. But he knows he's not from here, you are. You know what I mean? They can tell because it's a spiritual thing. They know. You know, that's why you don't see Africans getting shot down in the street. I'm pretty sure they hit on their wives. I'm pretty sure they get cops called, you know what I mean? For them being drunk and, you know, they want to get belligerent and all that kind of stuff and fighting and all. I guarantee you that stuff is going on. But they don't get killed and shot down like we do. Go ahead.
So I got precept.
Go ahead.
It's Exodus chapter 11, verse 7.
Uh-huh.
But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord doeth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
That's right. What's the difference between us? Just because we got the same skin color don't mean nothing.
Right.
Just because what's the vice president name? Kamala Harris. Just because Kamala Harris has the same skin color as you does not mean that y'all are the same people. They dupe us every time with skin color. Right. They do it every time. He knew exactly what he needed to do to play on the heartstrings of black people. He knew, okay, how do I get the black girl magic? I get the black girl magic by getting somebody who has a darker hue with their skin. He could have gotten a white woman. It still wouldn't have mattered. He still would have got the black vote anyway, because all she had to do was say that she keep hot sauce in her pocketbook. All she had to do was say that she liked Jay-Z or she likes Beyonce. You know, that's all she would have had to say. Right. She didn't even have to have the same skin color, but that was just the extra added, you know, sauce to really finesse you out of your vote. Right. That's what he had to do, right? And that's what I'm trying to get at with this class is like, we got to stop getting finessed all the damn time. And we got to start waking up and understanding that the people that we put over top of us is not for you. They're rallying behind the oppressor. And they want you to bow down and be effeminate. And as long as you're effeminate, as long as you're emasculated, then violence will continue to flourish. Because you know what it is? Because the men they're trying to effeminize all the men. It's we don't have the kind of masculinity that would make us face the elephant that's in the room, right? Which is the oppressor. Our leadership doesn't understand that you cannot reason with the oppressor. You cannot vote your way out of oppression with the oppressor. The only thing that's going to change anything is you got to be willing to match the oppressor's aggression. You have to be willing to get low down and dirty just like he is. The Bible tells us, right? Happy shall he be that dashes thy little ones against the stone. The Bible is showing you that the same thing they did to us is what you got to do. And it's going to be in a certain time that it's going to have to happen. But of course, that's all the Lord. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, the Lord will, you know what I mean? Now, you can't get your mind to do it and to even think about something like that because you've been emasculated in America for so damn long. You can't even think about that, but you can go to the block and shoot it up with an AK, with a banana clip and a 100-round drum. You can do that. You can kill little girls who just trying to go outside and play. You could do that. You can kill your brother, right? All goddamn day and destroy each other. But when it comes to the elephant in the room, nigga, you effeminate and you're feminine. And because you're feminine, subconsciously, you try to protect that. And as soon as somebody come up against you or disagree with you or say something to you on Instagram or Facebook, you'll destroy them. Because what manhood do you got left? You got to protect the last little bit of manhood that you got. Because other than that, you might just go put some high heels on. Right? So you'll tattoo everything. You tattoo everything. I'm hard. I'm tough. I'm tough. Right? When that white man come through, tell you to get off the block. Go ahead. Somebody, Mataza Pa?
I got a prime example of, them making so-called gangsters effeminate. Mm-hmm. You remember, it was a video that came out, it was maybe a year and a half ago where it was King. It was a nigga sitting in between King's legs.
Yeah.
And another nigga sitting in between his legs.
Yeah.
And they like, what?
Yeah.
I ain't gay because I'm sitting in between his legs. I'll kill you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you are sitting between, you on this dude's wieners and beaners.
Right.
Literally, you in between this dude's legs.
Right.
And another man is in between your legs.
Right.
Come on.
And Mataza Pa, you're right. But he will kill you. Like a cat like that will kill you. Like a cat like Young Thug. Yeah, he wear them dresses and stuff like that. He'd say all that homophobic stuff all day. But he will, I believe him. He will shoot you and do something stupid and kill you because he's effeminate. And guess who he got all the smoke for? You. Niggas that look like him because he don't got no power nowhere else. The white man telling him to put on the dress, he gonna put on the dress. You know what I mean? You're gonna wear these tight ass skinny jeans. You ain't gonna even be able to close these joints. I think they had Lil Durk up there. Lil Durk had some jeans that were so tight his zipper couldn't even go all the way up. You know how it was like a viral video. Like he was doing a show, his zipper couldn't even go. You know how when you zipping something up and it's open like that, you got to close it like that to get the zipper up. But it was like that, it was but damn, that sounds kind of crazy. Pause. But you get my point. Pause. Go ahead.
And going back to what you said about they'll just tell us anything just to get us to fall for their tricks.
Right.
Like they did that. Kamala Harris did the same thing, talking about she smoked weed while listening to Tupac and Snoop in college, and she graduated before their careers before they even made a song. She graduated.
Right.
But Negroes ate it up, and now we got
right. Black masculinity. You're right. Black masculinity is a threat to the system. All right, it's a threat. Go ahead. It's Robert Card.
Another thing that they did to get our woman was they had her be like real sassy in a debate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember that, like, oh, shut up, and then like a lot of women in my family, they was like, oh, look how she ain't going for that. She don't go, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they portray our black woman, to
mm-hmm.
be sassy and not to even listen to a man. Right?
You're right, not to even listen. Right, when this place, just imagine this, right? When this place goes all to SHIT, right? Which it will, which it is, it's going that way now. When they physically start, like I'm gonna tell you, when they physically start putting their hands on people to make them go take the shot, because they already trying to, like New York is like, if you don't got your vaccination card, you can't get nothing. Right. So what happens to people that don't have resources? What do people who don't have resources do to people who do have resources? They take them. And so that's what they're creating right now. Because if I can't go in the store if I'm unvaccinated, and I can't go and get a job if I'm unvaccinated, and I can't do all of these things that I need to survive in America if I'm unvaccinated, then it's gonna force me out of just the fact that I gotta eat. It's gonna force me to take it from somebody who does have it. And that's what they're creating, you know what I mean? And it just is what it is, and you know, I mean, it's coming. So so we definitely gotta, like the school, the ICBK, we definitely stocking food up, all that kind of stuff that we need to do, and all that kind of stuff, right? Because that stuff is, trust me, I know what it is. People wanting to get the jab and all that kind of, not wanting to get the shot or whatever. I get what it is. It's not the fact that it's something that alter your DNA, all the the conspiracy theory stuff out there. It's not the fact that it's they don't know what it is. It's because I believe that it's because people think that it's the mark of the beast. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe people think that it's Revelations, that is literally Revelations playing out, and that if you don't get this shot, you're not going to be able to buy or sell anything, which is proven a damn point, really, the way that it's all playing out. But it's a lot of religious people out there that don't want to do it because of that reason. They got it, Revelations all jacked up. Go ahead, Mataza Pa.
No, I was about to say, but nobody thinks that the flu shot is the mark of the beast, because right after the COVID shot, my job is giving the flu out right now. The flu shot out right now.
Right, and everybody taking it.
Most people.
Well, that's probably the vaccine right there.
You see because they give us this thing to put on the badge to say, you've been vaccinated. But then they got another one for the flu shot, and most of the people that I see got two of them. And they got
another variant out right now, the R2 variant.
Of COVID?
Yeah, they got another variant out. It's like down south. Yeah, they're not trying to. Of course, there's probably not a bunch of news coverage of it and stuff like that. But yeah, they got another variant out. They say it's more aggressive than the Delta variant.
Well, a lot of people still catching COVID though.
Yeah, still catching it.
Still in there.
They said the Delta variant was so aggressive, but yeah, they didn't go as crazy as they did with the first COVID-19.
Yeah, because
they shut the world down with the first COVID-19.
Man,
they're saying the Delta was so much better, but they ain't did nothing.
They have to run the kingdom. They have to run the kingdom. The kingdom will fall if they stay on lockdown too long. So they have to run the kingdom. They have to get the sports going. They have to have the Coliseum going too. So in order for them to run this place, you have to have certain things going on. You have to have people distracted with sports. You have to have the kingdom running and flowing. So they have to have it running. That is absolutely necessary for the survival of this country. So what's the next best thing? If you can't make everybody go in the house because the businesses would collapse and the economy would fall, so you have to have people working. So in order to have people working, you have to have them take this shot. You have to have it's imperative. And once they start doing it and doing what they got to do, they talking about going around and knocking on doors and dragging your mom's out the crib. She'll be like, "Get off me, put me down." So that's crazy though. So like that's just a little sidebar. It's crazy when they got a person lifted up and then you up in the air, security got you up in the air, and then you say, "Put me down." like you don't have no more power. They got you up. They got you off. They got you off your feet. You're like, "Put me down. You better put me down." Like, they ain't gotta put you down. You nothing you can do. Just go along for the ride. All right. So let's get it. All right. So page 87. All right. So I'm gonna go. This is part 1. I'm gonna go to part 2. All right. The Delectable Negro, part 1. There's so much stuff in here to unpack. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna unpack it. I might even have to do more than one part. Maybe Metallica Pod take part 2. All right. All right. Okay, the black man, this is page 87 of the Delectable Negro. It says the black man plays this role for Pollard, who wants to hold him, be held by him. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm gonna go up a little bit. This is the second paragraph. It says, during and beyond slavery, blacks had associated the type of Negro Pollard described with femininity, but more specifically, with a nurturing, maternalistic male role. Trudier Harris describes a black man who plays a nurturing role as grandmotherly. Damn. Analyzing the issue more deeply, she notes that this grandmotherly type black man approaches the mammy figure in the extent of his concern for the white person who is in his care. His primary goal is to soothe. Right? That's our leadership. Their primary goal is to soothe, dissipate revolutionary energy between, black and brown people in the streets when we feel that we're being oppressed, right? To soothe the precious person who is in his care, which is the oppressor. His primary goal is to soothe the precious child whose welfare rests in his hands. To comfort the child, the grandmother must show him that the danger which threatened him is no longer a real issue because grandmother has control over the boogeyman, which is us. You understand? So this is how our leadership reacts to whatever we do in the streets. So it's like, okay, black people in the streets, we looting, rioting, whatever. So it's like, just calm down. Let me talk to him. Hey, look, just relax. It ain't gonna be, you know what I mean? And they try to soothe the what's going on because their objective is to stay in the good graces of white supremacy, right? That's the whole game of all these organizations that's high up. Their job is to protect white supremacy because they benefit from it. And as long as we're in line, they're in line. They have a good spot. But the minute we get out of line, then they lose their spot because they don't have the people in check. And if you don't have the people in check, then of course the oppressor can replace you with somebody who can. Go ahead, Mataza Pa.
I was about to say the perfect video that I've seen that embodies that is the one with Captain Kahan at the Southern Baptist Convention.
Yeah.
When he was getting on the Edomites and he was smashing up the Edomites, the black dudes came and tried to sue him.
Right. Oh, Mataza Pa, you got to see this video. Hold on. I almost forgot, y'all. All right, Tazar Pop, I see you. Right. Oh man, it's lock here. Ra'aha War. Ra'aha War. All right, I see you, Ra'aha War. That's a handful. That's a mouthful right there. Sari Dawkins. All right, Sari Dawkins. They're not pressing the flu shots, he said. I guess, yeah, they probably gonna just put the vaccine in the flu shot and get your ass one way or the other. Renewing Your Mind said they want us to turn the cheek the way Christianity teaches. Yup. They want you to open your cheeks. All right, Kana, feminine emotions. they tired of you turning them. They want you to open them. Jules Terms. All right, Jules Terms. All right. So, all right, I'm gonna play this video. I'm gonna talk about you gotta see this. All right, I'm gonna play this video. I'm gonna set it up for y'all. Stephen A. Smith. Look, leave him to me, all right? When the kingdom comes, all right? When Christ returns, I'm finding him. But I got dibs. Just watch just watch the video, all right? I'm gonna show you the video, all right? All right. I'm gonna add it to the stream, all right? And then I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna enlarge this screen. All right.
I'm with you guys on all this. I've lost a family member. I've had COVID twice. I get it. Guys on all this. I've lost a family member. I've had COVID twice. I get it. I just want to be careful when we start going down this road that we're going to act like Kyrie Irving being vaccinated or not being vaccinated is going to change the minds of millions of people. Like we start going down this road where we start. I know, but I'm just telling you how it feels. Some people, Stephen A. When you start calling people stupid, or you start calling people saying that they're selfish, and these things start going all over the internet, that creates a different narrative, and people start fighting back against that narrative. I'm just telling you how it is on the other side, Stephen A. I know you have your thoughts on how you see things.
What's the other side? What's the other side? The point
I'm on the side of being vaccinated, man. I'm just trying to tell you.
I didn't say you weren't. We're talking about you're the one that took it there, Jay. We're talking about a basketball. We're talking about a basketball player who signed on to play for the Brooklyn Nets that has left his team hanging.
Yes, because of his own personal decision. He's choosing to do that for him. And when you go through an unprecedented time in the history of this country, you have your own individual right to make your own decision about what you want to do for you and your family. So I just respect that right. I'm not saying I agree with that right.
All right then. You respect the right. I'm saying to you no. I'm saying to you no. If you sit up there, if you signed on to do a job, okay? And that's what comes with it. That comes with it. Now, I can get deeper and bring up the fact that the president of the healthcare system, virtual healthcare system in South Jersey, was the one that personally took me to the ICU unit. I didn't say you were.
You act like we've had 100% vaccination rate in this country since the beginning of all illnesses have occurred.
You know what, Jay? Jay, you sound full of it, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I'm not full of it.
We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. You taking it somewhere I wasn't going. We could do that now. Any day you want, we could do that. But what I'm saying is, we're talking about Kyrie Irving not showing up for the Brooklyn Nets after he got guys to show up for the Brooklyn Nets. And here you go bringing up all of that other stuff. We can do that. We can do that. But I wasn't trying to do that. That's where I'm calling him selfish. You know, like questioning his right. He has the right to do it. He also has the right to go the hell away then. Retire. Retire then. Because you left your teammates hanging. That's my point.
Okay. Hold on a second.
Life.
Damn. He was spirited, wasn't he? Go ahead, Matazaba.
I was about to say he was speaking the same sentiments of Esau. Like that's something Esau would say, like, you left your team hanging.
Yeah.
You signed up. You signed up to play basketball for the Brooklyn Nets, and then taking a COVID shot comes with it, and taking a COVID shot comes with it. But that wasn't in his contract.
Right. It wasn't in his contract to take no shot.
Vaccines.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
so he doesn't have to. He has the right to or not to take the vaccination.
Right.
And that's what America is creating. Like it's creating like a line. Like these people that got vaccinated, they supposed to be good, but the unvaccinated, like, ooh,
yeah.
Ooh, we the unvaccinated.
Right.
And Stephen A. Smith, like, just okay, he knew he was wrong and he knew he was losing the debate. That's why he was just trying to get loud. He said, because, I'm talking about the vaccine and stuff, and you want to come with all this other stuff. That's just like the pastor would say.
Yeah, exactly. Like Steve, okay, you see how we get real spirited with each other?
Right.
But if it was anybody else, he would have been like, well, his decision, But it's like with us, it's like, you just get super spirited. Like you see that the white lady was like, the white lady just sat back. They do that every time we start arguing with each other. They sit back and they, because it's something that they've created. Their people created that. You know what I mean? This divide and this, you know what I mean? And you got cats like this who will sit on, CNN that'll just, I haven't seen one issue that he's agreed with black issues. He's on ESPN, of course, but it's still a big platform because that's a lot of people watch ESPN. You know what I mean? So he's never agreed. Even when Colin Kaepernick took a knee, he said that he should just shut up and play football. You know what I mean? He said that that's not the place to do that. So, well, goddamn, where is the right place? If you can't riot, you can't protest, you can't do anything, you can't block the road, you can't do nothing, then where should we say something at? And these are the cats that are put up. These are the cats that is put up to just get on these platforms and talk about black people all day and disagree with anything that any black person comes on there and says, because like when Mataza said, he's going to go with the sentiments and the talking points of the oppressor. That's the reason he's up there. Right. And we got to start canceling these kind of cats. Right. They try to cancel the baby. Right. They try to cancel the baby because he said, give a shout out to all the cats that ain't S&D in the parking lot. Right. Right. They try to cancel him, but they won't cancel cats like this. Right. This is definitely who needs to get canceled. People who sit up on CNN and Fox News and talk about black people all day. Right. Those cats are promoting us to be feminine, promoting us to do what we're told. Right? Now, our stance has always been in the ISUPK. It's your choice. Right. If you want to get it, get it. If you don't. Right? It's always been your choice. But these cats here, they'll tear you down on the national stage. They'll mute your mic. See how they try to take him off the screen and put Stephen A. Big on the screen? Right? They could have kept it side by side. Right? Ding, 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 ding. You know what I mean? They could have kept it side by side and let him go. But what they do? Made him big. Because his narrative is what they want to go out to the mainstream media. Right. They don't want this cat on the split screen to start making sense and too much sense. And he understands that he has to protect the brand. Right? And the brand, and if you're going to be part of us out in the front, on the mainstream stage, you better not get out of line. Because the minute you get out of line, nigga, we are taking that from you. And you will be on YouTube from now on. And he don't want that. Right? But Nick Cannon showed us that. He didn't want to be on YouTube. He could have been good on YouTube, right? Wildin' Out would have been dope on YouTube. But we found out that Nick Cannon, he couldn't do it. He couldn't handle all that. Now, they back on. I don't even think who even watches. I do not watch Wildin' Out anymore, right? But he didn't want to go on YouTube, so he bent over and spread his ass cheeks, right? So we won't. I won't be watching that anymore. Yeah, he turned the other cheek, so he could get in better. All right. So. This is the last part, all right, and I'm going to end it. It says, ex-slave Jim Allen speaking to WPA interviewer admitted that we was master's pet. Did we have good eating? Yes, ma'am. Old master fed us so good because we was his pet. I never loved no one to and he never allowed no one to pester me either. As I done told you, I was Marshall Allen's pet, nigger boy. I was called a stray. I slept on the floor by Miss Ann and Martha Bill. Another man named Pet Franks was given this name by his master. His master and the master's family conditioned him to be their domesticated object on the plantation. Interviewed years after slavery, he revealed, "I knows all about slavery and the war. I was right there on the spot when it all happened. I wish to goodness I was back there now. Not in the war, but in slavery times." God damn. "I do members hearing about slaves on other places getting whipped sometimes. I guess niggas like that wish they was free, but I didn't want to leave my white folks ever." And we go back to a great woman named Harriet Tubman. And one of the greatest things that she said, one of the things that she, one of the terms that she coined was, "I could have freed more slaves only if they knew they were slaves." All right. With that being said, I'm going to turn the class over. Check in for part 2 coming up next. I don't know if Mataza probably going to take it, or maybe I'll take it next Tuesday. He like that. Like that. Yeah. All right. So tune in for part 2 of The Delectable Negro by Vincent Woodward. All right. All right. Shalom. We'll turn the class over to Preaching Officer Mataziala.
All right, these are the ISUPK security announcements. Rules for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to learn and share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, they are to seek counsel from their heads. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10, means tenth in Hebrew. Ma'ashara, 10% of any increase of every penny belongs to the Lord.
That's right.
Free fund was a free will offering for the priest, not mandatory. Whatever amount you like to donate. Upcoming holy convocations, we have the Feast of Dedication.
That's right.
November 28th, Sunday, November 28th. You can read about it more in 1 Maccabees 4:52-61, where we rededicate the temple to the Most High. We don't know who had this building before, so we're going to rededicate it every year, just like the scripture says.
Right.
If anyone wants to be a trooper in school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, scarf. That being said, individual Majum, give teacher courtesy salute. Majum Shabbat, Majum, Barak.
Yeah, how about Shimmy Awashai Brakathan?
Yazmatah, sorry, which means turn. We're going to give the sister a courtesy salute. Man of Israel, Majum Shabbat, Majum, Barak.
Yeah, how was Shabbat Thun by Shimmy Awashai?
Yazmatah, class dismissed.
That's right.